Hey guys, before I get into the meat of this incredible video, I just want to invite you to watch the video until the very end because I have an incredible announcement that I'd like to offer you. Now, if you've been watching my videos for quite some time, you know that one of the keystone principles of becoming the strongest version of yourself is wrapped in this single idea that I often speak about, and that is that your body is your mind. And when I say that, I literally mean that there's no physiological separation between your brain and your body. Your entire peripheral nervous system is an extension of your central nervous system. So to think that they're separate really is a figment of our imagination. Now, we also know that this is true because the way you carry your body is going to dictate oftentimes your emotional state and how you feel about yourself. It doesn't take much to realize that if you walk around with your sternum dropped, you're suffocating your ability to breathe deep, you're cutting off you're restricting blood flow to your mind, your brain, and you're generally just not going to feel like the strongest version of yourself, right? And there are exercise programs that many of us engage in that further facilitate this type of posture. A lot of bicep curls, pressing, and then ultimately our goal is to feel great about ourselves, but we're creating postural distortions that don't allow us to fully express ourselves and be the strongest version of ourselves. We also know that it also goes the other way around. The way you feel about yourself is going to dictate how your body looks. If you feel happy, healthy, energetic, you're going to be nice and tall, your chest is going to be up, you're going to look people straight in their eyes, you're going to walk with a spring in your step. So the way your body looks, the way you carry yourself, your posture, your structural integrity, also is an expression of your psychological character. So, in becoming the strongest version of ourselves, it is my belief that we are to begin with the body. If I don't feel good about myself, I don't want to think about it, I want to actually feel good about myself. I want to feel strong, happy, healthy, energetic, creative. These are all things that describe emotional states. Emotion and feeling are just the way they sound. Motion happens in the body, movement, emotion. Emoting, this means using the body to move in a way that's associated with what you want to express in the world. And feelings, you don't feel with your head brain, you feel with your body. You feel good or you feel bad. With that being said, I'm bringing a guest in for you to meet today who is an expert in posture and structural integrity. If you're looking to become the strongest version of yourself, you've got to consider that there are many postural distortions that you might not be aware of, from upper cross syndromes to lower cross syndromes to side-to-side imbalances. I suffer from many of them. I think the idea is to manage them, because if I'm going to evolve psychologically, mentally, character-wise, I need to first deal with my body, and that's my invitation to you. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Randy Clarke, who is the founder and head teacher at the Center for Neurosomatic Therapies. What we're going to talk about in this video applies directly to your ability to recognizing your postural imbalances and how you might be able to correct them. All right, guys, here's my friend Randy. Like I said before, he is the founder and the head teacher at the Center for Neurosomatic Therapies. And study and therapy. I mean, he does therapy and teaches. Yes. And the main thing here is that I want to pick his brain a little bit for you guys about muscular imbalances, how to recognize it in yourself, and how you might go about alleviating any of these muscular imbalances.
All right, sounds good. So first thing we do whenever we're doing an analysis or anything like that, you may have seen Taylor on one of your other videos go through, kind of do all the measurements, hit all the bony landmarks, figure out where that is. As a therapist, that's what the therapist would do. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, there's a couple things you can look at that we see are pretty common, especially with lifters and things like that. Yeah. A lot of neck issues, a lot of neck problems, right? So what you'll actually see, little head tilts. Right?
Yeah.
You'll start to see, and that's a sure sign of an imbalance.
How does that happen? How is it that just lifting or life brings us into a cockeyed position?
There's so many things that can do that sort of thing. Sports, right? Sports injuries, big problem. Computer, right? As most of you sitting and watching this are sitting at a computer, right? People sit at a computer a lot more.
One arm,
one arm over like this. any kind of vision issue. One eye stronger than the other eye. People start to turn their head and focus with the more dominant eye. All of those things lead to dysfunction. They lead to imbalances, right? And those imbalances are what leads then to the neck pinch. And then the neck pinch, now you start to compensate, right? Now your thoracic spine starts to lock up, right? And it starts working out down the chain. And you come in with back pain and they don't realize that it started with your head all torqued like this, right?
Maybe you could give us a little bit of a self-assessment. You know, I had a kid come in yesterday, this weekend, and I looked, and he took his shirt off, and immediately I saw this.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you know you're twisted? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm like, yeah, your hips twist this way. And he's like, no one ever told me that. I put him in the mirror, and I was like, okay, we drew a line down, and I was like, stand on that line, look at yourself. And he's like, like it was such an enlightening moment for him to see what his body actually looked like. And his mom came in later, and I said, do you know your son? This is what, and she's like, no. I'm like, you look at this kid every day, and you didn't recognize it. So what are some of the things that we could do to figure that out before someone else has to tell us?
You would be amazed how big of a distortion you can have, and it just feels normal, right?
Yeah.
Like people, they've been like that for so long, they're like, yeah, this is normal, what are you talking about, right? And the easiest, the simplest, easiest thing that we do to show people this, because we have to do the same thing, right? I'll be measuring them, and I'll go, do you know that you're like, no, I'm not twisted, that's normal. And I'll go like this, like, now I'm twisted, right? Because they feel twisted when you put them straight. Let me take a plumb line, right? Little piece of string with a weight on the bottom of it, just hang it from the ceiling, right? Put it in front of the mirror, just stand behind it. That line's straight. That line's always going to be straight, right? You'll get to see how far off. I mean, I'll put that right between people's feet, right in the middle of their feet, and you'll see their head off, you know, hitting one eye by the time it gets to this line right up here, right? Very easy to see. And if you can, more so than straight on, from the side, right? Right. You put it right at their ankle. You put the bottom of the plumb line right at the ankle. Where it should go through is the knee, the hip, the shoulder, the ear. All those should stack right on top of each other. I'll see people 3-4 inches like this. They have no idea. And then they'll wonder why their knees hurt, right? It's because they have all of this pressure, right? And then if you do that, what you'll see is your toes start to curl into the ground because they have to, right? Right. So they'll come in and I got these hammer toes or this bunion, and it's all because their toes are bearing all of this weight. They have no idea.
Let me ask you a question. This makes me think of something with regard to energy. You know, we only have so much energy every day, and of course you got to get a certain amount of sleep, you got to eat a certain amount of calories, whatever the case may be, to be a happy, healthy, vibrant person. Sure. You know, people want to be able to go out there and do everything that life has to offer, but so many people are tired. And I'm assuming that the constant need for correction, but you know, the drain on your muscular system to hold you up when normally you'd be twisting or falling forward, probably is one of the reasons why people are tired.
Oh, you're burnt. I mean, ATP, right? It's all ATP. Right. It's all that's where your body's energy source is, ATP. All muscles, all your organs, your brain, everything runs on ATP. You only have so much. Right? You can only make so much. If you're using it to hold yourself up and the muscles stay tight all day long, and even more than that, what gets you your ATP is two things, right? Oxygen, how you breathe. And second is your absorption of nutrients, right? That's what your body needs to create this energy. Right. You do this, now your lungs don't get as much oxygen, right? Now it takes oxygen. Without oxygen, it doesn't make the ATP. So it also needs the nutrients from your food. You get problems where you get a collapse here, and now the large intestine, small intestine don't absorb the way they're supposed to.
That's ridiculous.
Now you're doing that, you've got all this muscle tension, and you're not getting what your body needs to make the energy. So you are chronically tired.
That is such an aha moment for me, because so many of us think that we're lacking in energy drinks and caffeine. Right. Well, really, it's like you're lacking oxygen and nutrition because of the way you're carrying yourself.
Either you're eating a crappy diet or you're just not absorbing the good food you're putting in your body. You can put the best food you want in your body, and if your body's not absorbing it, what good is it, right? It doesn't do any good for you. So it's getting this and this to work. You have to be in the right spot. There's a position to help, right? And it can come from here, it can come from down here. I mean, one of the things we see all the time is like a structural leg length problem.
Yeah.
People have no idea they'll be 10 millimeters shorter.
When I came to you, that's what you figured out.
They had no idea. And you'll see their belt line and it'll be something like this, right? And they'll have no idea. I mean, just look in the mirror. If your belt line's crooked, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? There's a problem with that. You got to get.
What about the wearing of
up.
the bottom of the sneakers? I've seen people who,
yeah.
like, you look at the bottom of their sneakers, you pull up their sneakers, and it's like it's all worn down on this side and like looks brand new on the other one.
Absolutely, or worn down on the inside and worn down on the outside.
Yeah.
There are problems in your hip, something called obliquity that we look at, that will create that immediately, that outside wear, inside wear problem. You also get the people who don't, poor gait pattern, right? They walk and they drag their heels when they walk.
Right.
That's something else that we look at, is gait, is how someone walks. Average person, 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day, right, that they're taking. If you're taking 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day and you're torquing every time you take a step, that torque works its way all the way through your body.
So now you think you've got neck pain or back pain,
right?
And really it has something to do with.
And you can go to the best therapist and the best gym, and you can do all the right things. And if you get up and walk out and you're doing this, right, it's going to come right back, right? So you got to look at what people do habitually, what they do all the time: sleep, sit in their car, sit at their computer, walk, chew.
Right.
You'd be amazing how many lift.
Because, I mean, that's one of the biggest ones that I think a lot of the people that watch my videos is that your lifting programs are imbalanced. So it's like you've got a shoulder problem, so you go to an orthopedist and he wants to cut your shoulder open, but really it's because you're spending way too much time in the flexion position at work, at school, and then you go to the gym and you do more of this. And now it's just like, well, no wonder why you have shoulder pain, back pain, hip pain, knee pain. You know.
And you get that overdevelopment of one side or the other, and then when you start your lift, like you said, how many people don't know they're crooked? They're crooked when they start their lift, right? And of course, you're not going to use your muscles equally if you're crooked at your starting point, right?
And so then you go to have someone look at your elbow, without getting to the root issue, which is, dude, let's lift from a stronger position.
From a stronger position, from a base that's strong, and that's what we do. We build a strong base. You know, that's at our school when we're studying and we're looking to fix these things, right? It's get this base. Our people, they learn how to find the imbalances. We know how to correct them muscularly, whether it be through stretching or massage or strengthening, right? We figure that out, and then we send them to someone like you, right? Because now they're strong. Now go make yourself.
Now you can go do it.
The strongest version of yourself, right?
Like I said, I had a client this weekend, and you know, he understood where I was coming from before. I mean, no one's going to pay me as much as I ask for if they don't know what to expect first. And he comes in and he knows that we're not just going to jump into lifting. It's going to be a matter of, can we figure out where you're starting from first, your foundation, and then it makes sense to begin lifting. Right. And if you want to do it right, I mean. You know.
And even you, when Taylor measured you, he found some imbalances.
I'm all off.
Yeah, you're all over the place. Because even if you do everything right, life will just do that to you sometimes. There's a maintenance to keeping everything in place, right? There is. You got to keep your body going. It's not like a one-time, hey, I fixed it and it's done. You sleep crooked one night, right? It could be anything. You're lifting your kid. You're doing something and you just throw something a little off. You get it back. And the stronger you get, the harder it is to throw off, right? But you still you gotta come in. I mean,
constant maintenance.
But our healthy people like you, we only see them about 3-4 times a year. That's all they need. They just need a little bit of imbalance. You get them back. They're ready to go. When you're starting, it takes a lot more to get you to that healthy spot. But when you get there, man, it's pretty easy to keep it there as long as you're doing the right things.
Two of the things that I want to offer you guys before we wrap up this video, and I think this is fascinating. We're talking about how to discover whether or not you've got these muscular imbalances, and we all have them. I mean, it's, like I said in the beginning, it's just a matter of recognizing them and then maintaining, you know, doing the best that you can with what you've got. And I think that's a big part of what we offer here. Number one, I'm going to put a link down below to Randy's school, because I know a lot of you guys are personal trainers, and you're young guys who are looking to do what you see me do in many ways. That's a lot of the emails I get. And a significant portion of the foundation of my understanding with regard to exercise physiology comes from a very similar position as Randy in his school. So I would invite you to take a look at his website. It might be something that you'd be interested in. The other thing is, we're not done here. Randy's going to come back in June when we have our next Strength Camp clinic, and he's going to spend a significant portion of the first day working with us on postural assessment and correction. So everyone who's coming to that workshop, we'll have an opportunity to get some hands-on and tangible experience with what the things that we're talking about here. And although it's just about sold out, I've decided to make room for 10 more people, and there's a link down below, or we'll annotate it somewhere else up there so that you guys can get an opportunity to experience that. So thanks so much for coming, dude.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Anything else, if you wanted to give 1 or 2 tips to wrap up, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you do want to come out and do this, the school, it's an 18-month program. It's a one-of-a-kind program. It is something that we've developed ourselves because it's the way healthcare is going.
Yeah.
Right? People are tired of drugs, tired of surgery. Yeah. They want to find a better way to keep themselves healthy. And you'll see all the dollars are going that way when you look at the studies. We feel like getting ready, getting that base, having that knowledge puts you in a fantastic position to take advantage of where all that's going.
Yeah.
And help people get healthier.
Absolutely.
That's really what it's all about, is to help people get healthier.
Man, that's exciting.
All right, man?
Cool. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate
Talk to you guys soon. Yep.
All right.